So hi all, and thank you very much for joining me for what is now episode number 15 of the Mantell Associates Network. I am joined today by Jonas Møller, the CEO, and Gregor Kawaletz, the CCO of Albumedix. Albumedix are a service provider, pharmaceutical, which are based in the UK, which have been growing rapidly of late and have had huge success and been doing a lot of work on the front line of COVID and really developing going forward. So today I'm joined by both of them, and I want to get straight into it in regards to questions and find out a little bit more. This year, last year, everything has been crazy for everyone. So it'll be good to start with you, Jonas, and find out, really kind of talk me through what life has been like since the start of COVID-19, being the CEO of an organization and really in the biotechnology space. How have you found everything and what's it been like?
Yeah, and so first of all, thank you, Alessandro, for inviting us to participate today. We've been following your podcast, so it's good to see people sharing, and so we're very much interested to share from our side as well. And so back to your question, how it's been like different. I think that's the word that everybody is using, challenging as well. I think the COVID pandemic has certainly challenged all of us in ways we would never have imagined, and that's true at Albumedix as well. As I've said to our organization a number of times during the pandemic, we were kind of left with a choice, is how I see it. We could either fight for the old ways, or we could embrace the situation of having to build new, and that's really the philosophy that we have applied to Albumedix. We cannot change the fact that we are in a pandemic, but we can certainly work to build new ways of growing and getting the success that we were always destined to reach. And so that's what we've been doing. And then being part of the biotech and life science industry, it's obviously been immensely rewarding to see our industry coming together, the collaboration scene, and we're humbled and honored to be able to play our part in it. So working together with other like-minded life science organizations and truly being pulled back to the core of what our industry is about, doing something for society, making a better impact on people, and we really see that and have seen that throughout the pandemic.
And oh, go on, Gregor, go on. Sorry.
No, no worries. I was just going to say what changed is just the digitalization. So whatever we are missing is this face-to-face, is just jumping to an office, having a short chat. Everything needs to be very well structured. You need to have appointments, videos, and this is, I think, a big swing to what we had in the past.
Absolutely. And you know what? In regards to what you said about digitalization, I've actually seen more of Albumedix since all of this has happened than actually beforehand with the deals that you guys have been doing, which we'll come to later. But and that's been the case for a lot of businesses. And you mentioned, Jonas, about having that choice to fight. And so far, you're seeing the companies which are fighting, which is your business, and companies which are fighting to push forward. And I guess I wanted to ask you, in that fight, what sort of challenges have you faced during all of this, and how have you and the business overcome it?
Yeah. So again, thank you for that question, Alessandro. As a manufacturer of critical ingredients to the pharmaceutical industry, it was never really an option for us not to proceed, because there was too many lives at stake. We play a vital role in that value chain. So from us, it was very much protecting the safety of an employees and their families, and then remaining an unbroken supply chain. So it was quickly kind of going, to be honest, before the politicians ever got their minds around what strategy to take, we were already pursuing down a really social distant approach, isolating our manufacturing facility. I have not been in that facility for 6 months, if not more. And so it was kind of really pinpointing out the critical business processes and people in our facility and in our organization and then protecting them at all costs. And we are obviously not in this situation before, but we were in stages in the beginning as we were getting accustomed to the pandemic, where we had fridges and freezers put into the facility with food because people were stealing all or hoarding in the supermarkets, as I'm sure you can remember. So we were just protecting to make sure that they did not have to expose themselves to the chaos which was happening outside, to just making sure that they could protect their families, but then also the supply of our products.
Incredible and absolutely amazing. I love what you said about the value side of things, which is something which makes your business unique. But Gregor, how would you also say that Albumedix differentiates itself in the market, aside from the value, aside from all of that, as an organization?
Yeah, so Albumedix has a unique product, and this is our recombinant albumin, which is the best in class. And there is nothing better than our material. And as Jonas mentioned, we are in the range of critical material which are delivering our product to critical industry. And this is, at this point in time, the pharmaceutical industry with vaccines. So we are supporting with our material COVID vaccines. We are supporting with our material diagnostics, which are showing whether somebody is infected, and we and clients are using our material in medical device area, where they are surfacing with our material artificial products coming to body, and all these fields are related to COVID at this point in time. However, we see that with our positioning and our unique material and our know-how, we are able to support our clients also with enhanced services using our know-how, helping the clients overcome their challenges. So this is potentially not a typical CDMO activity. It is rather something how bring to speed to market with our know-how using our recombinant albumin. And this is the secret of our success, where we are playing a more and more an important role in this field.
Incredible. And on top of all of that, Gregor, with it being, as you mentioned, a lot of the work that Albumedix is doing at the moment focused towards COVID-19, your background comes with many years working for a CDMO which specialized in vaccines and viral vectors, so really able to position yourself in that way, which is incredible. And Jonas, I wanted to kind of lean on here, and Gregor as well, but start with Jonas, being a leader in the biotechnology industry and having to adapt to everything. I know that I struggled big time, and my company is not the size of the one that you've got. How have you adapted physically, adapted mentally, adapted to work, family life, with everything that's going on and having the pressure of running a business?
Yeah, so I guarantee you, Alessandro, that what you went through and going through is the same as us. I don't care about the size of the business. It's human people we're dealing with here. I was feeling the same. I'm still feeling the same. And we all had to adapt. So the obvious one, family and work, was not, it's no longer a balance, work-life balance. It's kind of, it's together. There's no way about it anymore. And it's become integrated. And it's been having to deal with that, and from a positive perspective as well, that work is not where you go, it's what you do, it's what the value that you bring, and you can do that in different ways than we probably originally imagined. And I think that has been a transformative journey from a number of our people, myself included, and I think that's some of the learnings we'll definitely take away from the pandemic for sure. And then I think it would be wrong to say it's not always on the forefront of our minds, but as leaders, I think it has been a very healthy reality check to be reminded that businesses are not the financial outcome we give. It's not the products and the services we provide. It's the people. It is the people that makes up our business. And you were really reminded of the true stakeholders of our business, be it the clients we serve, the ultimately patients, the benefits, but certainly also our employees. So that's been an important life learning.
And what we see especially is our female employees, they have a real hard time at this point in time, especially if they have children in the school where they need to have homeschooling, home office work, which is a double challenge for them. So we as a company trying to help them to overcome them, to be as company very flexible on one hand, but it will never be able to reduce the workload which women have in this point in time. So we are really appreciating that we have very motivated ladies in our company, which we're trying to combine this hard family life with homeschooling and professional life. As Jonas mentioned, there is no balance. There is a kind of unification, and there is no difference and no border in between.
I completely understand, and it is something which we are balancing as well at Mantell Associates, so couldn't be more on board. And it is hard at the moment for literally everyone. But I love Jonas, in particular, before the podcast started, we were talking beforehand, you mentioned you having a conversation with someone and they said they were busy and were kind of seemed out of breath with the way that they said it, and you put a really kind of positive spin on the fact that it's busy, and then throughout what you were saying there, positivity, and that's something which shines through with you as well, Gregor, definitely in the way that you both are, which is brilliant. And it leads on nicely to how do you feel at the moment that the world is challenging leaders, Jonas, in particular, right now?
So sorry, just so that I heard the end of the question. Yeah. So
fine. So in the world at the moment, it's obviously challenging leaders in everything that we're doing. How come more in particular, especially from a people management point of view?
Yes, it's back to what I was saying also earlier. It's this, you're having to appreciate that every single one of us is in a different situation. And so the flexibility and the agility that you have to apply as a business, as a leader, is now off the chart. And I think it's a healthy, as I said before, also reality check for a number of us. And I think that's maybe as a leader what have been the biggest change, that you are having to make tough calls because you're dealing with livelihood here and safety. So there's black and white decisions which have to be made. But at the same time, you have to recognize the ripple effect that it has, because every single decision has point mutations that is different for every single person. We are now put in boxes that we were not necessarily meant to be in, and so it's having that wiggle room as a leader to acknowledge that while you have to be in this box for safety reasons, we have to then find a way of working around the fact that you have. Yeah, I could have my kids on the call as well with me now. So we all have to adapt and work together.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gregor, I guess from a leadership perspective and how it's testing leaders more than ever, you lead the entire commercial function at Albumedix. And something is, I think every job is hard, but it's meant to be known that sales and business development is right up there with one of the ones where you're pushing people the most. And often it can be about pressure, about pushing, about meetings, about everything. But now in the current climate, we've got a difficult situation for everyone. As Jonas mentioned, kids coming in to the meeting room and things like that. How are you balancing that from a leadership point of view, and how have you found that?
And indeed, I think this is a very challenging moment for all of us. I had the other day a chat with Jonas, and Jonas said, it would be so good if we could sit together and developing new things physically and not just by video, which makes the job much harder. And indeed, the plan was to be much more often in the UK. And now I see that I've been maybe very few times in the UK and do everything remotely. Mm-hmm. So to keep going with a team, to motivate my managers by good example. So it's, I think, not the moment to criticize people. It is just to show with good example how it could work, and bringing on this trip your team members to be successful. And this is what we do for now. And this works, thanks God, very, very good. And this does not release you anyway from making hard decisions if needed. So on one hand, it is still the same, motivate and making everyone successful as possible for everybody who wants to be successful. And people which are not willing to do or just make other decisions, you still need to be very concrete in your statements. And indeed, to do it by video or by phone, it is more challenging than do it in a face-to-face discussion.
Fantastic, and it's good that you're there, able to help them. People often during this time need that sort of support and that guidance. I wanted to find out as well for both of you, which is a big one. The world and the pharmaceutical industry has been more in the light than ever before. Literally more than ever before. It has been. Everywhere you look, there is new exciting changes, new exciting things which are coming up. What are some of the most exciting things that you can see coming up in this space? Start with you, Jonas. Would be brilliant.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot happening. I think just staying again with the pandemic, but we can then move away from that as well. The now next generation vaccines that we are seeing coming online that has to fundamentally change the vaccine landscape as we move forward, also post the pandemic. These non-viral based vaccine that has shown very impressive performance and safety profiles is something I think will be much more explored as we move forward. And then I think you will have to be, every single executive in the pharmaceutical companies will be having to ask themselves now, we did something, we have done something, we're doing something that nobody ever thought was possible, i.e. obviously I'm talking about developing vaccines and treatments, medical devices and so forth on a ridiculously short time frame. And it was only possible by the right people working together, the right organizations. But obviously we have to ask ourselves, what learnings can we take from that? Maybe not in such a short time, but how does it really have to take 12 years to develop a new drug? So I think those are some of the discussions that will be happening. And then separate to the coronavirus and so forth and learnings we are taking from that, we are seeing a lot of development on the curative treatment fronts, the advanced therapy, where we're playing a large role. But then also the merge of the device sector and the drug sector coming together, that we're seeing much more of that interplay being a companion device together with the drug as well.
Incredible.
Yeah.
How have you found the market, Gregor, in terms of you actually joined Albumedix during all of this? So you came on board as the CCO and maybe went to the UK a couple of times, I guess, before all of this happened. And then all of this has then gone ahead, happened, etc. How have you found the market in terms of sales and business development throughout?
So if you don't mind, I would try to spend 1 second on the previous question, because guys, I think we need to be aware we are witness of a technological and scientific revolution. This is potentially just compared to the 19th century as the new vaccines at all came to humankind, and we are now in a transition period, which is, I think, quite important to be witness of that, and we have the luck to be part of that. With as Albumedix, we are supporting all those gene and cell therapies where we see a big demand to be there, and I think even seeing this difficult global situation, we are jumping to the next level. What will happen to us at all? So I think this is a very important moment, and I think to spend a few seconds time to see how good our scientists are making this change, it is very important. So this is just to the other question. Let me come back to the market itself. So I think the global pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical market is incredibly growing very fast. So to be successful so far is not a challenge. It is just to do it in a smart way. And from business development point of view, I see individuals which learned to work on those new, modern, novel technologies, using videos, approaching people via different channels as they did it in the past, is very important to get all those contacts and approaching people. The challenge will stay with us. The business development area will never be, at least for the next 20 years, completely digital. This physical face-to-face, we as humankind want to see the face, want to hear the voice, want to see all aspects of human being, and this brings us to liking somebody or disliking somebody, and this brings us to success in business or even not success in business, and this will be not replaced by any digital tool in the next couple of years.
Agreed. Do you think it's enhanced the potential of more business the way that we're doing it now?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. So if you know, I'm 5 minutes older than you are, so we were starting watching telephone books and reading whom we could call, and we were starting usually in the front desk of somewhere, and the gatekeeper was sometimes hard, or it was not easy to approach people. Now with those different platforms in internet, in press and other medias, you have much easier access to approach the right people, and this is just possible via using those new technologies. And therefore, yes, it is a kind of enhanced possibility to approach people, but you still need to have the right characters and right individuals to be able to do it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And you guys had a recent big announcement I saw in regards to a new partnership which has happened for Albumedix. Would be great to find out a little bit more about that and what it means for the business and for the world as well.
Yes, so I'm sure you're referring to the Catapult
yes.
Relationship or partnership that was recently announced. So extremely excited about it. Being a UK-based business, then obviously Catapult is a household name, in particular in the advanced therapy field, with a mission that we strongly support to create a world-leading advanced therapy environment in the UK, but also with global impact. And that's certainly something that we are proud to be involved in. So it's a very scientifically driven partnership as well, where we will be focusing and exploring innovative approaches to improve some of the challenges that is faced by gene therapy and viral vector-based drug developers. So yeah, it will be very exciting. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible, and thank you for going into detail on that and for everything that you guys have gone through throughout all of this. I wanted to ask you both one question, and each, I guess, will have completely different answers, I imagine, potentially, which is start with Gregor. What piece of advice would you give to other business leaders at the moment looking to kind of optimize their response during this crisis?
And I start to speak just in this biopharmaceutical industry because potentially there may be other answers for other industry sectors. Indeed, what I think is incredibly important, especially in this time, flexibility. You cannot rely on your old business model as you had in the past. The life is changing massively and very fast, and you need to be close to market, close to customers, customer intimacy to see what changed, and you need all the time challenge your strategy, adjust your strategy, go forward, being motivated, loving what you do, otherwise you will fail, and being very close to your team members because they are which are driving the business globally.
Thank you. Jonas?
Thank you, Gregor. I think agree, and you kind of covered a lot of the business side. Then let me stay with the people and some of the things there. I think it's a philosophy I've always lived by, but it's becoming even more true now in this situation we find ourselves in. That as a leader, you really have to make sure that you're your people leaders and yourself as a leader is focusing on people's intent rather than behavior, because we're finding ourselves in a situation where everybody is stressed and they're pressed to the max. And so we are not always getting the best type of communication. We're not always getting the best behavioral approaches from people. And so really making sure that you have the ability to go in that meta position where you also just reflect on what intent are the people coming with, and that is what you should be talking to. That is what you should be focusing on. That goes for private situation as well as business situation. And I think that is what will drive businesses as well as personal relationships forward now and in the future.
Absolutely love it. Guys, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on here. And thank you for all of your insight and incredible work that is going on in your business at the moment. And we will talk soon. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Alessandro. All the best for you.
Bye.